me a little bit more about it's the Michael's Daughters project. So what inspired that?
Well, for years now, I've been working a lot with at-risk youth and just kids that come from challenging backgrounds. And it just was something that kind of fell in my lap. But, you know, there's no coincidence. I believe that God places things in your life for reasons. And when I was in New Orleans as a teenager, like, I got asked to teach a summer program with What Girls Know, which is another nonprofit organization. And I was working with girls my age who had parents that were incarcerated or who were coming from poverty-stricken backgrounds, who, you know, just grew up in similar environments that I grew up in. And one of the big things that we taught the girls were, you know, basically to channel your pain into something productive, into something constructive. And so the girls would write original plays and put them up on stage. And so, you know, I had been doing that work for years, and then I came out to LA, and just when I first got out here, it was a tough journey for me. You know, I had $200 to my name. I was trying to figure out, you know, how to survive. You know, I was, you know, on that brink of almost like living in my car, you know, and yeah, and it was challenging, and I, at the time, my father was incarcerated, and so I kept getting these prison letters from my dad, and they were stories about his life, stories about, you know, how he got through some hard times, and also just him just motivating me. And I had a really hard time processing that because, you know, I had my own issues and my own anger with my father being incarcerated. And it was like a big light bulb, which, like, the big pink elephant in the room was like, you need to channel your pain into something productive, and this is what you've been teaching all these years, and da-da-da. And so, so I did. I took that leap, and I wrote it into a one-woman show, and I played my father and myself, and just really talked about my journey of forgiveness, and also just wanted a way to just bring some understanding and clarity to that situation, and really just understand, you know, really like who I am as a woman, and I wanted to grow as a woman. And that just kind of took off on its own, and I toured it around, and people were really responsive to it. And one of the big things that I just found astonishing is that people were coming up to me after the plays, and I mean, I'm talking about black, white, Asian, Latino, like, yeah, my son's in prison, my dad's in prison, my mom's in prison, like, you know, you're inspired me to go and visit them, or to tell my story, or to forgive them, or whatever. And there was just something there that sparked with it, and I was like, okay, let's go back to fundamentals. You know, let me create my own project where I'm working with kids that are impacted by, you know, our justice system, you know, in whatever capacity, and let them really channel their pain into something productive. And so I was really clear about that. I was like, I really want to help youth, because those teenage years are really, those are the ones that make or break you as a person, as a human. And I was like, I want to work with teenagers that have similar upbringings from me, and let them know that, like, yo, whatever your situation is right now, it's not going to always be that way. But as long as you know, remain positive and remain focused and be intentional in what you want to do with your life, you're going to get out of this. And if you give it a whole different perspective to it. And so, anyway, I pitched this program to the city of Los Angeles. They have been funding me now for 4 years. And I've been housed at Casa Esperanza in Panorama City. And every year it's something different. The production is different. The first 2 years the kids did plays, which were basically personal narratives or inspired by their life experiences. Last year they did a documentary talking about community centers and why we need community centers in our cities, in our inner cities. And then this year they're doing a cross-generational story exchange where we're getting seniors to come in and tell their life stories and their stories of resilience, and the kids are gonna shift those stories into short films and play the seniors. And so, yeah, it's for me, you know, it inspires me all the time because I mean, these kids are so amazing and so brave, and even the people that we had come in this week to come tell their stories. I mean, you know, the human mind is so powerful, you know, and it's just, and when you talk about resilience and you hear people's stories of resilience, you can't help but to be like, yeah, I want to make a change in my life. Yeah, I want to do something great. Yeah, I want to uplift my fellow brother and sister. Yeah, I want to do something that is just going to really change the world.
Yeah.
So that's how the Michael's Daughter Project came about. It's basically a summer camp that works with kids, you know, who have a lot of challenges growing up, and it's just presenting them art as a alternative, as a healthy alternative.
And that's amazing, because I look at that as not only is it giving them an avenue into arts and entertainment, but it's also a form of therapy. They learn how to be empathetic towards other people.
Yeah.
That's amazing.